Well, welcome to another video. I need to develop an introduction line or something. I see a lot of guys on YouTube have like a little intro thing that they play before the video starts. I feel like I've made enough videos. I probably have earned one of those, but I have no idea what it would be. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the Course in Miracles. A lot of you guys that are new to my channel that have just recently discovered it, write to me and tell me that, oh, I've got the course, or because of you, I've bought the course and I'm starting it. And I've been lately getting so many comments from people telling me how much success and how much change they're experiencing in their lives through using the course, that I feel obligated, in a sense, as like the idea of being your brother's keeper, to continue to produce material that is supportive of that endeavor, of that journey through that workbook and through that text, which is the entire universal curriculum in a single volume. Or if you've got the white edition, it's in 2 volumes. If you've got the sparkly edition, it's in 2 volumes. Those are produced as print on demand. I always recommend people the white edition, which is the one that I produce, simply because it was given to me as a task to produce it by Jesus, and through a vision, through a holy vision. And when I wrote to my teacher about it and told him what I'd seen in the vision, he said, I had that exact same vision 10 years ago and didn't do anything with it. And I kind of wonder how you could have a vision and not do anything with it, because to me, everything that is divine, that comes through as a channel or as some kind of directive from on high, it's more important than anything. But anyway, I guess I have had glimpses of things that I can't remember, and sometimes when your mind opens, you get little static, and in that static you catch glimpses of stuff, and then it's gone, and which is why it takes a lot of effort to be still and to calm the mind and to listen without falling back into the conceptual arbitration of thought, about listening and all that sort of stuff. So in talking about A Course in Miracles, I was washing my dishes, actually. Just before washing my dishes in the kitchen over there, and had some music on. So usually when I'm driving my car, right, this is kind of a meditative state of mind for me. When I'm driving my car, washing the dishes, I'm just doing one of those sort of tuning out kind of chores that you can just do without having to think about it. Usually I'll have a light moment, which is like that, which is when my mind opens and I get a little of light in there, and sometimes you get communication through that as well. Well, it is actually communication, but it doesn't always seem to transfer to words or symbols or images or anything like that that are useful. Sometimes it's just the joy of it, and it's joyous. So with the course, when I was washing my dishes, I think I don't talk enough about how incredible it is. I know I talk about the principles, and I talk about the concepts, and I talk about the idea of what it's for and everything else like that. But it dawned on me washing the dishes, and I'm sure this has dawned on me many times actually, but it dawned on me washing the dishes. This is the first time in human history, the first time, right? And if you're watching this video, you're privy to it with me, right? In the last 50 years since the course has been on the planet, come into production and been on the planet, it is the first time in human history that we have had a complete, consolidated and concise curriculum, text for the entire universal curriculum in one thing, if you, even up until 1960, but there are other teachers throughout history who have attempted to put together sort of practice lessons, and I think, what was his name? The Maharishi, who taught transcendental meditation. I think he had a little book there for a while, and there was a few other guys out of India that put lessons about meditation and prayer and stuff together for people. But this is way beyond that. This is something that you can't understand it. And when you read the book, if you're even partly switched on with why you're reading it, or what it is that you think you're reading, you will formulate the question in your mind, who the hell is the author of this book? Who is it that's channeling through Helen Schucman, who was taking it all down in shorthand from 1965 to 1975, I think. And then it was finally published. And you realize that the things that are written in that book, the way that it's written and the things that are known and the way it's expressed, it's like no one on earth could have written it. No one on earth could have possibly written it. It's because it's beyond everything on earth. It's too much. It's too much, certainly, for a psychology professor to have written. Even a clinical psychology professor, which is what Helen Schucman and Bill Thetford were. They were professors of clinical psychology. Probably very good mediums for Jesus to use, because a lot of the concepts and principles employed through the course would have been somewhat familiar to them. Whereas if it was channeled through you and I, we probably would have taken twice as long. But you realize that no earthly mind wrote this book. Now, let me venture into the twilight zone a bit more than I usually do. Having read the course several times, done the workbook twice, and had all manner of interactions with people, workshops, groups, presentations, lectures, sessions, you name it, in an ongoing way for 27 years, I find that the nature of the material, although it's concise and to the point and it says what it means to say, it has this preposition about it that if you hold it out here as a book that you're reading, it doesn't have half the effect as if you take it totally personally in here. In our Zoom meetings, I often talk to people, and I like to do a little bit of creative visualization. It helps. I find a lot of people have a very artistic mind. Some have a very scholastic mind. I have an artistic mind, a little bit scholastic maybe. But I like to do a bit of creative visualization, and I often ask people to close their eyes and imagine a particular scenario. And generally, I'll go back 2,000 years to the time when somebody wearing one robe and sandals came along in our world, and you know what I want to say next. He didn't start a religion. He started a movement. It's a whole movement. He started a whole thing that has only just taken root in its natural way in the last 50 years without the need for religion. And that's beautiful. So when you read that course, I find, and you may not find, but I find, and those I talk to about this in this way, heart to heart, brother to brother, is we find that the course has a lot more intimacy when you accept the authorship of it, which is Jesus Christ, the redeemed Son of God, resurrected for the glory of mankind unto God. You don't have to believe in Jesus. It even says that in the back of the book. You don't have to believe. But when you read that book and you understand that it is him channeling, or you even if you would like to just believe it, maybe, it becomes so obvious that it is him channeling, that it is him speaking through Helen, the channel. Having had a couple of very esoteric type experiences of meeting Jesus and being spoken to by Jesus and others, other higher helpers, I guess. I know the power that comes through as an idea of an association that you align with. I know the idea that when I take it personally and intimately, there is a deeper sense of belonging to a movement. There is a deeper sense of belonging to a fraternity, a kind of a brotherhood that, not male, not female, not that kind of brotherhood, a brotherhood as in being all of one kind, nothing to do with gender. Remind me then, I just had a little visual of the Monty Python skit where all the women are wearing beards. Love Monty Python. I think that's in the life of Brian. Are there any women here today? No. Brotherhood, all of the one kind. That's what the word means. There's a belongingness that even within the framework of the dream, even within the framework of this matrix, this illusion, this Maya, it calls you in a deeper way. It communicates with you in a deeper way. And I can't really explain how. You have to experience it for yourself. And so I guess part of the point of this video is, we're always talking about non-linear, or I'm always talking about non-linear. It's not alpha to omega. It's got nothing to do with this, but it includes this. It's vertical. Communication is vertical from man to God, or from God to man, but prayer goes from man to God. The idea of aligning yourself with the possibility even that when you hold that book in your hands and when you read the words on those pages and you're practicing those lessons, that you're part of something celestial. You're part of something that's beyond the world. And that's hard to believe because the ego mind, that chitty chatty mind, doesn't like to incorporate those ideas too much other than just to make fanciful light of them and include them in as part of the identity of the spiritualized ego. But once you have an experience of something beyond the world, once you have an experience of a non-linear form of life, a non-linear experience of life, a vertical experience of life that includes you in it, you can't deny that. It's impossible to deny that, especially if it happens to you when you're not on drugs, which would be really nice. All of mine happened to me not on drugs. I did have several profound drug-related experiences prior to my illumination, but I don't ever count those as being true experiences because they were like forced. They were something that I was experimenting, I was looking, and I know a lot of people tell me, oh man, I'd totally come to God because of mushrooms or LSD or something. That's fine. But for me, no. The natural prayer, meditation, and prayer. I mean, prayer is powerful. True prayer, real prayer, prayer of the heart where you mean it. You're in that place and you just let it all come out. You feel everything. You talk to your Father like you talk to your Father on earth. If you've got a copy of A Course in Miracles and you're holding it in your hand, you are holding something divine. Because this continuum, this realm, this dimension was made as a place where the light was to be excluded. But for the light to be excluded, because everything is an idea, that must also include the idea that there is light. So therefore there is also light in the dream. And that's what you are and what I am together. We are the light of the world. But you have to stand up and claim it. And the mind is opposed to that. The conceptual conscious mind is opposed to that, because consciousness is the domain of the ego. All of it. Every little bit of it. It's like in the Matrix, it says, you know, the Smith, Agent Smith, guards all the doors, protects all the locks. Nothing comes in or out without ego knowing about it. That's true, but the light was already here as the idea of the light. And it's funny to talk about it in an idea of here and there, because what you're trying to talk about is states of mind. But obviously this state of mind, the state of mind that seems to find itself with the necessity to have a workbook and text of so many lessons and pages of stuff to study, it is the mind that we're talking about that is being offered redemption, but not for that mind specifically, for the entirety, although you take it on board specifically as a personal atonement, as a personal acceptance of the gift of salvation that is offered through the resurrection of Christ. And it becomes your own resurrection, your own process. One of the things in that process, I have people say to me, oh, I've been doing this course for years, it doesn't do anything, you know, occasionally. I'll have people say things like that, or I didn't get much out of it, or sometimes I'll even talk to people and they'll tell me they've done the course, you know, and I say, oh, did you enjoy the workbook lessons? And they'll be like, workbook lessons? What workbook lessons? And so you start to realize that when the mind says that it does something, that's very open to speculation and personal perception of what it is that it thinks it's doing. So I like to present it in this way, where what you're doing is studying a divine manuscript, so that you understand with the full spectrum of my appreciation of it, having had multiple experiences outside of my body in a natural way through prayer and meditation, and having an open channel of communication now directly to the light. I mean, you don't have to take it from me. I mean, but why not? Do you know anyone else that talks about this the way I do? I am an elder brother. I'm a teacher of teachers. And that brings me, I guess, a certain harmonic, a certain resonance that goes beyond the nature of the course, goes beyond the nature of what's being offered as being able to vouch for, or being able to witness to, probably is a better way, being able to witness to the efficacy of the lessons, etc. I had somebody ask me a few videos back, I've got chili powder on. Just rub my eyes with my chili powder fingers. This will be interesting. Just been making some curried stuff, and I had somebody ask me a few videos back about spiritual gifts, which it mentions in the Bible, that the Holy Spirit will give you gifts, sometimes clairvoyancy, sometimes healing, sometimes the gift of being able to teach. And I believe that I can teach this in a reasonable manner, that I can be understood with what I'm trying to present. So when I had my awakening in 1997, the Course in Miracles was presented to me within minutes after returning from eternity. I don't know how to talk about that. Awakening or being back in the dream, something. The Course was given to me, and I didn't know what had just happened to me. I really had no clue. I'd just been back in eternity. There was God. I had no body. I was one with God, and God was in me, and I can't explain it, you know. But when I read the Course, when I read that book, it was like a book for a kindergartner, a little child, you know, like Spot plays with a ball. The ball is round. That's how simple it was to me. My mind was completely open to the full spectrum of the universal curriculum through the experience that I've had, which was now to be mastered by me as best as I can. To be able that I can present it in a certain way and offer a certain spectrum of association that goes along with that, and also beyond that. And so when somebody said to me the other day, I was asking about the gifts of the Holy Spirit, and they asked me, do I have any gifts? And the simple answer is yes, but by the grace of God. They're not my gifts. It's not like I have, some people say, supernatural powers. My teacher Ted was considered by many to have had supernatural powers, and I was the recipient of those powers on several occasions. And I like to think of them merely as metaphysical powers, and probably just natural powers, because we are divine beings, and we are in this world limited to a very tiny little spectrum of use of our true power of the creative will of mind that we have as co-creators of the universe, by the nature of the dimension and the paradigm that we find ourselves in. Right? When your mind begins to open to other paradigms and other dimensions and other experiences beyond this one in the celestial realms, imagine it like little cracks in the armor, and you can sort of see through. Well, that light comes through to you. The light comes to you from above in different sorts of ways depending on your ray association, and you begin to remember the true nature of the power of your mind, which is mind-blowing, literally mind-blowing. I can't even to go up one level. I'm trying not to blink. It's funny, I can taste, I rub it in my eyes, I can taste it in my mouth. So the nature of powers in this world, let's say, or gifts in this world, can only be used in alignment with the auspices of whatever principle you're applying, whatever. And I mean, it's always going to be healing, but sometimes that application will occur through an acceptance, sometimes through an action of forgiveness, all that sort of thing. So, and it varies. There is very little, at least for me, there's, I guess I know when something is to occur, and I'm able to facilitate a bridge for that, perhaps. I don't know if that's the right word, the right way to put things. But my teacher was very powerful. He could just sort of point at you at will, and he would raise your vibration, and you would feel it. If you'd been doing the workbook lessons, if you were starting to harmonize with that Christ-minded vibration in you to a way where when you do those lessons, when you read the book and do those lessons, it brings you into alignment. It does. But one of the things that I've noticed, and one of the things that occurs, and one of the things where my gift, I guess, in this comes through, and I don't like the idea of calling it a gift, but my knack comes through, is specifically to do with the mind training. And Deb, if you're watching this video, I'll get you to put the link down below for our for that satsang again. That, not the one we did last week, but the one that I asked you to publish, or Tyna to publish. It's the last one that'll be in this thing. And also to put the link for the video with Rosie and I sitting on the couch over there, and also the video of the four of us, Dan, Rosie, me and Mark, sitting in the room in there, opening our minds and communicating in light. Now, one of the things in our Zoom meetings that I like to do, and the reason that I'm redirecting you again to watch this Zoom meeting video, is because the mind has this density, this veil, this fog over it, so that when I tell you something, even though you'll say, oh, yes, I hear that, I hear what you're saying, etc., and whatever, it doesn't ever go truly deep enough in to form the change and the interaction and the intimacy of connection with your current harmonic in order to be able to affect it, right? There has to be this conscious decision of will, and in the course it talks about it as just a little willingness, but I find sometimes that it needs a bit of a, when you jump start a battery, sometimes it needs a bit of a bzz, to get you in your body. But you'll notice in the satsang video, and I would like all you guys that are new to this, that are new to my channel, watch it. It goes for 2 hours, but watch it, right? One of the things that you'll notice is that as I interact with each person in the Zoom room, there is a, how would I put this? There's an offering to each one of them in a specific way, some with creative visualization, some with just a direct bringing to attention the nature of something going on. Nothing going on really, it's just a dream. But watch the video and you'll see how it is that I interact with the energetic of the mind that is presenting the idea of joining in the Zoom room in that healing, joining in that endeavor for healing, which is what the curriculum of A Course in Miracles is all about, right? Joining with others. What does joining look like? Well, for me, in that Zoom room meeting only, or maybe now I could do it now, mate. In that Zoom room meeting only, it looks like what it looks like. So when you watch it, and when you watch me address the different people, I've had people say to me, how did you know to do that with that person? How did you know that that person would respond to that particular instruction? How do you know that? They're just sitting there, they're on the other side of the world. It's because we are one, because when my mind is awake, my mind is awake, but when my mind opens and when I connect with that person, only one of us has to be aware of the connection. Right? Jesus says in any given situation where two join, only one brother need be aware of the need of the nature of the miraculous situation that you're in. The other one may not be aware of it at all. NPC. In the Zoom room, it's a little bit different. In the Zoom meeting, it's a little bit different because people come to the Zoom meeting fully aware that they want to get jump started, like the battery. Bzz, I need a push, I need a kick in the pants, I need a whatever it is, you're going to get it, right? Whatever it is, you're going to get it. Whatever you need, you will get exactly what you need, never less or more than you need. It will always be exactly what you need. And that's going to be miraculous, right? The same things happens to me walking down the street. My mind just opens and stuff happens. I have people suddenly stop. It's really funny. It's really funny. And I don't mean to do anything at all, actually. But the spectrum of gifts, the spectrum of abilities, the spectrum of influence, I guess, that a transforming mind has on the environment around it. You know, it's like that old adage of, in the East, you know, in Hindu traditions, it's like, hang around the master and you're going to wake up. Well, in a sense, that's true, but it doesn't really have anything to do with the master. It has to do with the fact that the master's mind is open and that the light is coming through in a less polluted way and beginning to affect everything around it in a way that naturally each mind, because it is looking for, every mind is looking for something just in the wrong place, out there rather than in here, right? Each mind that is aware of or looking for something or feeling like it must have a purpose, which is everybody on the planet, begins to get the effect of it, begins to feel just for a second, you know. And I've had people, like my teacher used to say this to me the same, you know, it's like he'll be standing somewhere like in a bank and the people in front of him and behind him in the queue, they'll start itching and feeling weird because the light is, just by his presence, the light is being activated in them without them even knowing what's going on. And they just stand there scratching because it's an irritation, right? The body is made as a defense against the truth. So when the truth gets close, the body has a reaction, which is why when I open my mind, my head goes down. I can't stop it from going down. And sometimes my fingers will go into all kind of different, I forget what that's called. In the East, they call it a name of something, into all different postures. But which who knows what the hell they're for. My eyes are really watering now, but at the risk of putting more chili powder in my eyes, there's not. I did wash my hands, but anyway. So I guess I wanted to really push in this video the nature of what it is you're holding in your hand when you've got a copy of A Course in Miracles. You're holding a divine text, a divine workbook. And it really brings an intimacy to it when you understand that, and when you understand the authorship of the book, and when you understand its purpose, which is to release you from the cause and effect relationship that you have with suffering, pain, and death. Collapsing that time. Instead of 100 lifetimes to go or 10,000 years to go, let's bring it down to 1,000 years or 100 years or 10 years, whatever it's going to be. It depends how much effort you put in, but I guarantee you any effort you put in is worth it. You won't like it, but it's worth it. The journey into fear is not something people jump out of bed in the morning, woohoo, let me confront my fears. I do, but I'm a bit crazy. So that's about it for that. I mean, I really watch those videos. Deb's going to put the 3 videos down below, or Tyna will, one of the girls. And we won't put any other videos. We won't put any other links to anything else. For this particular video, I'll just have those 3 because I really want you guys out there that are watching this, especially you guys that are new to the Course in Miracles, to watch this and understand that the nature of the Course through the goal of inner peace is about learning to reconnect, to communicate in light. Ooh. I remember a time in my life where if I closed my eyes, it would just be dark. I'd see the back of my eyelids, it would just be dark. And if I had my eyes closed and I looked up towards a light bulb or the sun, my eyelids would go red. Now when I close my eyes, it's still dark. I still see the red and whatever. But when I open my mind, it's like there's a poof of light. I can't describe it. There's a halo of light that comes from somewhere in like just out of the picture somewhere. You know, when you see something out of the corner of your eye and you swear it was there, it comes from one of those sort of places. Sometimes it's like a flash of light across the event horizon of my consciousness, and I don't know how to talk about that. Anyway, it's about communication. The whole course is about communication, re-establishing communication with God, which is what you are, your true self, re-establishing communication with your higher self. And the more you learn to do that, the better channel, the better you'll be able to bring clarity to your message, clarity to your experience of life, which will affect others, whether you're telling them about anything spiritual or not. I'm going to be moving from this house soon, taking my daughter on a holiday, and then I will be somewhere on the Sunshine Coast, which is probably about 2.5 hours north from here, and I'll be there for a little while. I think it just feels that's where I'm being called to go, and I'll get a better clarity on that as things get closer, I think. But I was going to go into the desert, but that felt quite strong at the time, but that may yet happen. We'll see. Anyway, sunny coast people, Noosa, Hinterland, Noosa, everywhere, Cooroy, all around Nambour, whatever, look out, you'll see me. And I look forward to meeting everybody. I've had a few people already say to me, can't wait till you get here. So, and I love that. I love that the Christ is welcomed in the world, you know, and we are that. That's what we are, and we should welcome each other, and we should be mi casa, su casa, and all of that sort of stuff, you know. That's what life's about. It's not about mine and yours. That feels good. That feels about it. So thank you, everyone, and thank you. There's a few people telling me that they're sharing the link for these videos in their other social media feeds, and somebody even turned one of my Facebook posts into a song. I thought that was very beautiful. Thank you. I mean, you guys can do whatever you want with my videos. I mean, just disseminate them, put them out there if you want, and ideas are increased by sharing, and Lord knows we need to get ideas of healing, of love, you know, unconditional love through the action of forgiveness into this world as much as possible, as quickly as possible. That's where I'm at with it, and if we can get the course out there and help people to understand it and how relevant it can be and how relevant it is in their lives, so they can avail themselves of the release from suffering that it brings, that's beyond words in gratitude, you know, like thank you for any help. Peace.